What's up, guys? Welcome to NMDTV Canes all day. If you're rocking with the youth, you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. Today, Mario Cristobal did an interview with Joe Rose. We like to listen to it weekly. We like to react to it weekly. But if you want to listen to it on your own, that's cool. I will put the link to the interview so you guys can listen to it. But I'm going to go through it, give my opinion on different things. Miami 6-0 entering the bye week. Shout out to the members of the channel, the Cane Gang. I appreciate you guys. And let's dive into this interview.
We're just fantastic. And the head coach, Mario Cristobal, joins us this morning, now 6-0. I don't have enough time to talk to you about this whole game, Coach. What a win. What a comeback.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing.
Joe's like us, right? We're about to have a heart attack after these last 2 weeks. Whew, especially late at night. As late as that game went, for it to have the emotional roller coaster, I had to recover on Sunday.
We got up to have breakfast Sunday morning, and everybody's going, did you friggin' see what happened last night? Yeah, it was a crazy one. Hey, Coach, before we get into everything, was there any one play that you thought flipped this game around? Because I couldn't just find one play, and I tried really hard. I tried again this morning. Any one thing that you went, wow, that's what we needed?
No, I just think that, was obvious early. We were taking routine plays and screwing them up, and we were just not executing to the standard. And I'm talking about basic stuff, throwing, catching, blocking, and tackling. And when we started doing that and when we started tightening up and getting stops, there's the momentum gradually grew and led to an unbelievable comeback.
The team, I could think of Isaiah Horton, the ball's in your hand, you don't come up with it. Yeah, the guy may have hit it, but those are plays that we're going to need to make if we want to win the ACC championship. Riley Williams, the ball hits you right in the hands. You drop it. Xavier Restrepo, the ball was kind of high, but because you are the Xavier Restrepo, we think you're going to come down with it. Jacoby George got the ball, dude hits you, yes, I understand that the defense is out there too, but like Mario said, we were dropping passes, missing tackles, so many missed tackles on defense, so many just freelancing on defense that we got to get these things fixed, because against a better team, there ain't going to be no 25-point comeback. But when you watch that game, especially the first half, you're going to be like, what were we doing? It's simple stuff that we got to execute.
To an unbelievable comeback.
Usually, mindset, not everywhere, and obviously not with your group, 35-10. Oh, man, now things kind of change a little bit, and your guys just, they zone in on both sides, started getting stops on defense, and Cam started, he turned it into a 7-on-7 game and 2-minute drill offense, and just all the big plays that were made by your guys late.
Yeah, at the end of the day, let's go back to what football is. It's a 4-quarter game, man, right? It's 4 quarters. It's 60 minutes plus overtime if necessary. And all our guys kept saying is that we're going to do this just one play at a time, just keep fighting one play at a time, and worked our way back into it, man, and gave ourselves a chance at the end and got it done.
I will say, when we were down, I was like, damn, we about to lose. I was like, is this about to be like every other year? Those thoughts were going through my mind. But every time they showed our sideline, there wasn't people throwing helmets. There wasn't people down in the dumps. There wasn't people pushing each other or anything like that. Every time they showed the sideline, it was the coaches, locked in coaches. It was Cam talking to Coach Dawson, Mario involved too. And it was like, I don't know. When they kept showing the sideline, I was like, the team wasn't pressed. I'm like, I'm more pressed, and I'm not even playing in the damn game. If you go back and watch the game, y'all go look at that. Because I've seen plenty of times you get down early in the game and helmets are getting thrown, trash cans are getting kicked, people are stuff is just getting blown out of. But it seemed like I'm not gonna say I said, oh my God, look at the sideline. They're calm, cool, and collected. We're gonna come back. I didn't say that. But I was looking at the sideline like, hey, they just going about like, hey, we gotta go out, we gotta make a play. We gotta go. So I was like looking at the clock like maybe we can, maybe we can't. But I did think that was important that everybody stayed composure. Everybody stayed calm for the most part.
Gave ourselves a chance at the end and got it done.
All right, let's talk about Cam Ward. Has a bad pick six on top of, the big pass plays, and we'll get into those. But they run it back, and you're going, oh, my gosh, what else? And he comes right back, and seemed from that point on, he just said, don't worry, we got enough time. I need the D, get me a couple of stops here, and we're going to win this game. What'd you think about his play?
Well, I think early on we were running the ball well. We weren't seeing the field great. And credit to them, I mean, they run a multitude of coverages. I mean, they jump from 3 weak, 3 strong, cloud, trap, all that stuff. And they made it difficult to see. And then they did apply pressure at some times before we got a little bit more stout. And when he started seeing you knew it was a matter of time before he started seeing the field well, if we gave him enough time, and we did. And then he started going to work, and guys started making plays that we weren't making in the first half. So the guy is, again, he's an alpha dog. He's super resilient. He takes hard coaching, and he's even harder on himself. So, I mean, just complete faith in the guy.
Well,
Cam Ward threw that interception, and it wasn't, my reaction wasn't like slamming a computer or getting mad. I couldn't believe what I saw. I said, that was like a damn punt. But the bad news is it's a pick six. The good news was the dude took it to the house, which when you take it to the house, Miami gets the ball back, and you put the ball in the hands of the best player on the field, and that was Cam Ward. And then we started making plays as a team. Sam Brown, Xavier Restrepo, Isaiah Horton, Elijah Lofton. The tough catches we weren't making in the first, we started making. The receivers that we missed, Cam Ward missing players, he started to make. And then I thought that Cam started to scramble more in the second half, which he doesn't want to scramble a lot, it seems. Hey, man, let's not wait till the fourth quarter to scramble. Let's scramble early and often and just make sure you don't take hits. It's not about how many times your quarterback runs the ball. It's how many hits he takes. And I think in the second half, Cam was more willing to run, which kept the drive going. That's just, I got to rewatch the game, but that was one thing I was thinking after watching the game. But I just couldn't believe that interception. And then Cam just brings us back. It's wild. It really is just wild.
Well, on top of that, when it looks like everybody's covered and he's in that pocket, takes off and runs 24 yards for a touchdown, I just thought that made it a one-score game just on that play alone was just a great time to take off. He saw it all the way to the end zone and just a fantastic play. So, Coach, run me down the end there because I'm watching that clock, and again this morning the game's on here on ESPN. And it's running down, and you're standing there, and you're like, they get a first down or two, and all of a sudden that game could be over, and maybe you guys don't get that last drive. Take me through that with you, Coach.
Well, I mean, the first I want to go back to Cam is settling down and understanding this defense is not going to give you a huge chunk play. So those first couple drives to get us back in it, 12 plays, 75 yards, 11 plays.
Yeah, wow.
75 yards.
That is a great point, Mario, because I saw people saying on the timeline on Twitter, because if you guys don't know, I upload clips during the game, so I'm on Twitter a lot. People were like, why are we running so many plays? And I'm like, look, we're down by multiple scores. California is just playing a don't get beat defense. Long as Cam doesn't do anything crazy like try to throw the ball deep, Cam can pick them apart. So that's a great point by Mario, because that's something that I didn't even think about, is 2 of the scoring drives were 10 plays plus, right? And that's because Cam said this in an interview too. He stopped trying to make the big play and just started to make the play to get more yards. And if we can do that, if Cam can do that, I believe the sky's the limit for this offense.
Wow.
75 yards. And we were in and out of the huddle fast or calling it at the line of scrimmage, trying to save as much clock as we can. And when we scored that last touchdown, I believe there was over 4 minutes on the clock, and we had 3 timeouts, and we got the 2-minute warning. So it's kicked the ball off all the way. And
4:04 to be exact was left on the clock.
All the way and play defense, you know. And those last 3 defensive stops, I mean, 5 plays, 8 yards, 4 plays, 21 yards, 4 plays, 0 yards. And that was the difference. But, yeah, the whole thing was when that clock is at between 2:41, 2:47, and this is all due to the NFL studies and the way they use a 2-minute warning, you just don't want to blow your time out, because they're going to run a play. The clock's going to start. The play clock's going to start at 2:39, and you're going to waste 39 seconds anyways. You know, save yourself. Have the ability to have 3 timeouts. The clock was stopped when one of their players was injured. We get that timeout back, so we kept ourselves 3, got the ball back with under 2 minutes, and that's what we do every day in practice.
I had no problem with how we managed that last drive. You let it go down to you let it go down to the 2-minute warning, and we still got 3 timeouts. So if they convert the 3rd down, we can start calling our timeouts and possibly get the ball back with a little bit of time left. If they don't convert it, then you got one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, the best quarterback in the nation, I apologize, with timeouts in the pockets, with the availability to call any play.
And that's what we do every day in practice. So,
well, let's go to the punter. Ends up, after all that, he makes this great punt inside the 10-yard line. So you're sitting there with 142, as you said, though. Great having all those timeouts in your back pocket. And right off the bat, Cam goes to Restrepo. I don't know if it's a broken coverage or what, but he's wide open. And not only does he catch it, but his run after catch. Next thing you know, you're down in the red zone. And now your mindset is, Coach, is it let's not score too quickly, or let's get in there? Or what's going through your mind at that point?
Balance. You got to have both, because scoring too quickly in a field goal game, you know, if you do get the extra point, that ain't real good, right? All they got to do is get 30-plus yards, and they're in field goal range. So once Restrepo, I mean, by the way, that guy's off the charts, unbelievable.
Yeah,
like
wow.
Insane, dependable, tough. Like, there's so much stuff that you don't get to see on TV that he does. That is just an elite competitor, elite player, awesome. But anyway,
the thing I like about Xavier Restrepo, and I've said this about Cam Ward. Cam Ward is the same way throughout the game. Same Cam Ward. If he's having a good game, he's calm, cool, and collected. If he's having a bad game, the same way. Xavier Restrepo was the 2. There was one point where we're losing in the game, and somehow Xavier Restrepo's helmet comes off. I don't know if somebody pushed his helmet off or what, but he could have got mad. No. Xavier Restrepo, when they point the camera on him, it's the same way. The only time you see something different is when he scores the touchdown. I just cannot believe teams. If I'm a defensive coordinator, I can accept letting Isaiah Horton catch a pass in a clutch situation. I can accept anybody else catching a pass. I don't know why they don't double, triple Xavier Restrepo, because you know Cam's going to him. And Xavier Restrepo, man, that boy good.
Awesome. But anyways, we caught him in post safety. ran a crossing route. It was open, great ball. It was a runner's ball, so he was able to catch it in Hall butt. And Sam Brown got downfield, blocked for him a little bit, could have turned back, blocked the other guy, might have scored, but it was good that he didn't. And when we got down there that close, now you don't have to, hurry up. You still got your 3 timeouts. You want to get that thing down to as little time as possible and score. So it's a little bit of both, Joe, and it's a tough balance.
So there on that long play, people were wondering, what the hell is Sam Brown doing? And here's my prediction, or here's my guess. I don't know if he was doing this, but I think he ran down to set a block. He was blocking, and he wanted to keep blocking for Xavier Restrepo. But he was blocking, but then Xavier started to weave, and he didn't want to end up getting involved and get a blocking in the back. Because I believe the series before, he got called for a phantom. It was the weirdest. They called him for pass interference. So I think he went down to try to help Xavier block, and then he got caught up in, do I try to make a block, or if I get involved, will they throw a flag? So he just said, hell, let me try to get up out the way. Which, hey, I'm just glad it worked out.
A bit of both, Joe, and it's a tough balance.
Yeah, and then on top of it, because of the penalty, you got another 3rd and 20, and I'm thinking, how many of these can you overcome? And Cam makes a great play right on the line of scrimmage and flips it out. And Martinez does the rest down the side. It was incredible, just the amount of plays that were made and everything that had to happen, especially on those 3rd downs, to keep this thing going and finally score that touchdown and chew up a lot of that clock. I have a bunch of questions, so Coach, if you don't mind, right off the bat, yeah, go ahead, Coach.
No, give it to me. Give me the question.
Yeah. So the big pass plays, 57, 66, 56, 51, broken coverages, or are guys just kind of getting beat or not where they're supposed to be on the 4 big pass plays, ended up being most of their offense?
I don't know what Mario's going to say, but I can tell you this. If the shit does not get fixed, which, let's keep in mind, we don't have Damari Brown. I believe us losing Damari Brown really hurt us. So we're going to get Elijah Austin back. We're going to get Damari Brown, and hopefully that helps this defense. But we're about to go up against Louisville, who, if y'all look at, we all know Ja'Cory Brooks. He's having a hell of a season. We're going to end up going up against Florida State, which Brock Glenn, he's not the greatest quarterback, but he's about as good as the Cal quarterback. We're about to face some offenses that are better than Cal's. So giving up those plays, if we don't do it after the bye, then we may just be SOL and just have to outscore everybody. Let's see what Mario says about the defense giving up chunk plays.
Being most of their offense.
Oh, we got to do a better job coaching that, and we got to do a better job executing that. I mean, one was a simple, the tunnel screen bluff by the tight end. I mean, come on, man, we're in cover 3 now. I mean, you got a flat defender, you got a hook curl player, and you got a deep thirds guy. I mean, that should be a dead play.
Doing too much. When you hear these coaches say, do your job, that's what they talking about. You don't got to make the special play. And I believe, now I don't know the down and distance, so I don't want to misinterpret it, but if you got cover 3, you're the corner, get that outside third like you're supposed to, or get that third like you're supposed to. And then, just don't get beat deep. But he's up there. They go over his head, and then the tight end outran them too. We was getting outran too. That was disheartening. I'm like, are we not faster than this?
But we had poor discipline, poor eyes, and jumped it. The fourth down, when we called the timeout to try to get a stop, get the ball in their territory, we're in cover 0, and we had again, we got to coach it better and we got to execute it better. But they had 2-3 guys come wide open. You're in cover 0. It's there's 6 guys coming. Everybody else got somebody man, and we didn't do our job in covering that. And And then the other one was just a good route, good play, good setup, no pressure on the quarterback. Young guy in there at D-line, supposed to hold the edge and compress that and let the interior of the defensive line push the pocket and get pressure. And we didn't get there, so we got to do a better job.
Hey, I got to ask you. First of all, the atmosphere and being out there with game day and with the college guys, and then the crowd and everything. What you expected going to the West Coast? I know you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of recruiting out there, and I love Oakland. Actually, Javon Holland his high school's right down the road. We recruited him out of there. Yeah, great player and great football there. And man, at 5:45 a.m. I mean, it was it was awesome walking in there. You feel like Roddy Piper, man. Everybody wants a piece of your ass, and you got to be ready to throw. So, but I thought it was important, just for our players to go in there with a serious tone and say, "Hey, man, get ready for an atmosphere that's going to bring it, and understand that the atmosphere and the alumni and all the noise can't make one damn play all game. We got to take care of business."
Yeah. Hey, I got to ask you a follow-up because so many people are all talking about, we all got a great laugh. Saban talking about recruiting down here in South Florida when you were on his staff and you're speaking Spanish and he doesn't understand anything, but he goes, we're getting a lot of great players. And I don't know where that came from, Mario, but protecting Saban from Dolphin fans, that was one of the great lines of all time on that show. Did you look over Coach's face after you said that, or did you just kind of look straight ahead at that point?
Well, I mean, we used to get him down here, and there was pressure to get him to 12 schools in about 8 hours. So you have to talk to every administrator, every security. It's Miami. I mean, if you don't speak Spanish, you better learn, right? And right. So, but yeah, man, there were some moments where like, hey, man, this son of a gun. But he was great about it. We put a couple protein bars on the dashboard and say, hey, brother, you got to eat because it's going to be cannonball run all day. We got to roll. And every time we started talking Spanish, he'd be like, hey, man, what are they saying about me? Like, kiss my ass. But that's the way he talks,
See, I think people got to remember, Mario learned from Saban. He didn't just learn from Saban. Mario was doing some good-ass recruiting for Saban. But if you haven't seen it on College Game Day, that's the joke that they're talking about. But Nick Saban was cracking jokes too, so I didn't think it was that big a deal. I just thought it was funny.
Hey, so I do have to ask you, the great story is everybody knows you went to Columbus High School. Fernando Mendoza, his family was out there. And you said some nice things. He ends up having a hell of a game. 11-22. He throws for 285 and a couple of touchdowns. He takes a hell of a hit at the end of the game. I thought that was pretty classy on your part to just make it a point for a South Florida guy. I don't know if you know the family or not, but what a nice moment, huh?
Yeah, no, I know the family well. Fernando, the senior, his father and I played together on the same offensive line. Coach
wow.
was on that offensive line.
Yeah, didn't y'all, I guess, never mind.
Was on that offensive line. Coach Mirabal was on that O-line. My brother was on that offensive line. Darren Handy, former Miami Hurricane, also on that offensive line. So Matt Britton was on that team. We had a lot of players that played together. Know the family well. His dad, may he rest in peace, was awesome, which is Fernando Jr.'s grandfather. So tremendous respect for that guy. He's a tough ass. He's extremely smart and a great football player.
I thought he played great, and I think California was stupid for putting in Chandler Rogers. Look, when they put in Chandler Rogers, the backup quarterback, to run it in the red zone, I said, cool, that was pretty smart of him. But then the next drive, y'all kept him in. I said, cool, keep him in because you just changed up the whole game. Like, if you got a team down by multiple touchdowns, why are you trying to get cute? But, hey, I thought that kid played good, just not good enough.
Ball player.
That was just incredible. You hit me with that extra stuff. I should have known. There was more to that Columbus relationship that you had not talked about before. That was really cool. So I got to ask you, Wesley Bissainthe hit. What'd you think of it on him that was a pretty damn good hit? I think it was third and long at that situation. What'd you think?
Great hit, great tackle, sent energy up through our entire sideline, and I think it sent shockwaves through the stadium. So it was awesome.
Hey, did you?
Y'all, boy. Wesley Basaint. I said earlier in the game, I said this quarterback is running around like he ain't scared y'all gonna hit him. I'm watching the game, drops back, and I see our edges. It was like when he snapped that ball, our edges jumped off that mug. And only thing he could do, because I think he got scared of the pressure, was run, and he got past the first layer, and I was like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, Wesley Basaint, I said, goodness gracious. Now, shout out to Wesley Basaint. It really is good to see the development of Wesley, and that was a big play. I was so glad they didn't call that targeting. I don't think it was targeting, and I think the only reason that they looked at it is because the kid didn't get up. If he would have just got up and walked over to the sideline, they would have never, I don't think they look at that play. But when he laid down on the ground, and he is okay, he did interviews after the game and everything, he's good. And then the announcer started to talk about it. You know, Brock Osweiler wanted us to lose. It was obvious. I said, they're going to review this. And at first, I was thinking maybe it could have been targeting. But when I saw, like, you can see Wesley lifting his shoulder pads. So when he's lifting his shoulder pads to hit you, but the guy ducks down and you get hit with the shoulder, then with the helmet, that's not targeting. People are accustomed to hate Miami, so no matter if it was targeted or not, people were going to make it something it wasn't. But people think if the helmets hit each other, then oh my God, it's targeting. It's funny to me how when targeting is called at the end of the game, people are like, oh my gosh, I hate this rule. I hate this rule. Take it out. But when it had to do with the Miami Hurricanes, everybody knows the rule. Everybody knows every detail of the rule. Everybody thinks Miami did the targeting. Wesley Basaint, applaud to you, man, because that was a big play and that was a big hit.
Hey, did you see Michael Irvin? I got to tell you, the Hall of Famer and one of the great players to ever play in this game, he became part of the show, man. He was living emotion on the ground, jumping up and down. Have you and Michael always been close, by the way?
Well, he was, when I was being recruited, he was, my brother was here, so I didn't really know him, but like my recruitment process here was as cut and dry. It wasn't, no one kissed my butt. No one really tried to he just kind of walked up to me. He said, I can't say what he said, but he goes, you better get your ass here. We're going to kick your butt all over the stadium when you go to this school or that school. And he always came back, was always supportive over the years, supportive when I was at the different schools and whatnot. And he's heart and soul University of Miami, and he was awesome and definitely the sweatiest person of all time.
I did not know that Michael Irvin recruited Mario Cristobal. Look, I don't know about y'all, but I think we need Michael Irvin at every game. I watched his interview after the game. He said that they want him to be at the Louisville game too. Look, we need you, big dog. And, man, like, you can't fake that. You can't fake that, right? You can't fake loving a team that much. You can't fake it. And this man is 100, a million, gazillion Miami Hurricane. Because he's over at Colorado too, right? He went to the Colorado UCF game. I didn't see him acting like that at their game. This man on all fours, cheering a Virginia Tech game, yelling at the players, like pumping them up. That's what we need, man. And I'm glad he's a part of this ride.
Time.
Okay. Hey, I know you made a comment. People kind of picked up on it. Cal had the extra week off. You guys had to go to the West Coast, play a night game. They could have evened things up a little bit better if they're going to make it a primetime game. Did your team, did you feel a little bit of going out there early, and you feel like your team was tired at all or emotionally drained?
No, we felt great. We had a good plan.
If anything, I thought Kyle looked tired at the end, especially their defense. Their defense looked super tired, huffing and puffing, and it was like they were saying, please let this game end. Please let this game end. That defense got tired.
We had used that same plan when we were at Oregon and we traveled east to play Ohio State a couple years ago, about changing the clocks, changing what time you eat, what you do on the plane, the amount of time you spend on your feet and off your feet. So that wasn't a problem. The problem was when we got to the stadium, it was like a sauna in the locker room, and nothing was being done about it. So we had to go outside and take a couple of the cool zones from their sideline and just drag it into our locker room and start cooling that thing down.
Great having.
How convenient is that? You got all week. This ain't just a regular game, right? This is college game day. When college game day comes to your university, you want to make sure everything looks great because you don't know what they're going to show on television. So you want to make sure the locker rooms look good, the urinals are extra clean, the stadium looks good. Miami gets there, in their locker rooms, it's like a sauna. Coincidence? Mind games. That's why y'all ass is still lost, right? That's why y'all ass is still lost. And what was that? What other part of that question did he say? Their bye week. I think they benefited from the bye week, which that's what you're supposed to do. And they watched the Virginia Tech game, and they had probably 4 or 5 plays plus the little package with the backup quarterback that they said, I know this is going to work. The thing is, once they ran out of those plays, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. And they ass got walked down.
Great having Rueben Bain back out there. I know there was a lot of conspiracy theories that somehow something was being covered up. How nice was it to have that guy back?
Yeah, I mean, that's a difference maker. You feel, you could hear and just sense the physicality. I mean, just watch the film, Joe, if you get a chance, and watch some of the way he launches people, and the way he just destroys pockets and plays with great effort, and it's going to be it's awesome to have him back.
Hey, Mario.
First play of the game, a guy tries to block Rueben Bain. Bain knocked his ass back 5 yards. I'm pretty sure it's like the very first play of the game. If not the first play, the first drive. I mean, he knocked the kid back so hard, the kid was like, and I said, oh, he back. He back. No. The first play of the game, he made the tackle. The first play, Rueben Bain made the first tackle of the game. But one of the next plays, a guy tries to block Rueben Bain like a running back. He got his ass knocked back.
Hey, Mario, let's just talk about these tight ball games and find a way to win. You're down against Virginia Tech. You guys come friggin' back. You guys are down huge. One of the biggest comebacks that we've seen in like 20-something years, and what you're able to do in that game. Is this just the way you look at it's going to be in the ACC, or you feel like you can clean things up where we don't have to go to the fourth quarter for these, or what's your thought on going forward in the ACC?
You got to clean a lot of stuff up, Joe. I mean, there's a lot of routine stuff that it's head scratching, and I think over the last couple of weeks, there's technique and fundamental and discipline issues that have, or I would say aspects that have deteriorated. Whether it be wear and tear, whether it be injury, there should be no excuse. You got to find a way to tighten up those things. And that's what this bye week is for. Just a very humble look in the mirror and attack and address those things while resting up your team and getting ready to go. But again, the bye week, they used it well. We got to do a great job using this bye week because we got some really tough games coming up. No, we don't want these crazy nail biters all the time. We feel that we could be good enough to take control of games in the second half. It just so happens sometimes you just got to find a win. And please understand this. Conference games are playoff football. Everybody's alive. Everybody's in do or die. So no one could be surprised when all these games come down to the end. We saw 4 examples in the top 10 this weekend.
Boy, you're not
Right? First of all, I want to say thank you, Mario. Thank you for not pussyfooting around the question, straight up saying we got a lot of shit to work on, because we do. We have a lot to work on. So 2 things can be true. I do believe if you look at the landscape of college football, the notion of you're going to be able to beat this team because they beat that team, that's out the window. But also the notion of, oh, we got Vanderbilt, that's going to be an easy win. Oh, we got Arkansas because that's going to be an easy win, because Vanderbilt's starting quarterback came from New Mexico State. Before the transfer portal, that most likely doesn't happen. Arkansas starting quarterback came from Boise State. So when you're looking at these teams, like, yes, Miami has benefited greatly via the transfer portal because we got a Cam Ward, Martinez, Barron. But also the so-called middle of the pack teams have also gotten better. So it's not the simple fact of, oh, Miami versus this team, they're going to just beat them. Louisville versus SMU, they're just going to, no. Because everybody's getting better players, and it's more even than it is this team is just better than everybody. So I'm not taking any team lightly. I've learned my lesson. I thought Virginia Tech, I knew Virginia Tech was going to be pretty good, but I didn't think that it would be close in the end. It was close in the end. Cal, I watched them lose to Florida State. I watched them struggle with the sorry-ass Auburn team. Then they came out against us and looked like a totally different thing, which leads us to the next point. We got to do the routine things right. We got to get better. And if we do not look better, and I'm talking about, there's a difference between just a coaching staff making just great play calls, and there's a difference between that than you're right there to make the tackle, but you don't make the tackle. Your guy is right there, but you don't cover him. We're not doing the routine things right, especially on the defensive side, and we better do it, or one of these games is going to end up being an L. I can tell you right now, I'm not going into any game predicting Miami's going to blow anybody out, because this year in college football has been crazy. But shout out to Mario, because the first thing out of his mouth is, we got to do things better. We got to get better. In this bye week, hopefully we can do some things to get us better. And when we play Louisville next week, we look a little bit better.
Weekend. Boy, you're not kidding. Holy smokes. Before we ever got to your game, all the upsets in college football was just incredible. Is it one of those, if they don't get cleaned up, you're not a very patient man sometimes? Do you need to, give other guys chances? Do you look at play of guys that are making same? How do you treat it, too, that part of it?
You do both. Certain guys that have just kind of, again, done the same stuff, there's got to be rotational moves to change that, because you got to learn. I mean, you have to get better, and we have to do a better job with the second part of the roster that are reserves and that need to be playing winning football, not just eat up space or eat up time or give guy a rest football. We've got to get guys to play more meaningful football. We got to get guys to mature, and that's about coaching your butt off and developing guys to do that. And so this week is, especially as it relates to those guys, this way it's got to be, we got to hammer down on getting guys ready to play winning football. Down the stretch here, everybody needs to have a role. Everybody needs to have an impact.
Shout out to Elijah Lofton. Because it seems like, I like our tight ends, but when Elijah Lofton comes into the game, he's either making a big play or he's making a big catch. And he's not just taking up space, he's making plays. We need that at other positions. Right? I wonder if he's talking possibly at the wide receiver position with Jacoby George. Jacoby George gets a personal foul call, and I don't know if it should have been called a personal foul, but Jacoby has a history of that, so it looks bad on him, right? It doesn't matter if it was his fault or not. It's going to look bad when you're involved with it. And then you go out there and you drop the pass. Yes, the guy smoked you, but you dropped it. So I wonder if there's going to be another wide receiver. JoJo Trader came into the game. We'll find out. But I wonder, does he have a position or somebody in mind?
An impact.
Well, you got the week, and then it's off to Louisville for that game, and like you said, my God, these games have been crazy to watch, and so many games going down to the final possession. It's just been crazy. Mario, congratulations, man! What a game! I wish I had 6 more hours to talk to you, but we don't have enough time. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Come down to practice, man. Should be a heck of a week.
Yeah, thank you. Mario Cristobal with us, head football coach of the Miami Hurricanes.
So, going into the bye week, we got to make things move. We got to get better. And I think the thing about championship teams is I feel like they get better. So, it's going to be interesting to see what this defense looks like. Specifically the defense. Like, I think the offense is going to be fine, but it's going to be interesting to see what this defense looks like coming out of a bye week. And Mario said something in the press conference after the game. He said, we don't have all our guys, right? Elijah Austin, Damari Brown, Jalen Rivers. Having Jalen Rivers back, I believe, is going to be a huge deal. And then bringing Elijah Austin with Ruben Bain, both of them being back, is going to be a big deal. Damari seems like it's going to be a long-term thing, but we definitely miss him. We miss him. So DBs are going to have to step up, and really the whole defense is going to have to stay. This defense, these last 2 games, is not championship worthy. So it's going to be interesting to see what moves are made, what adjustments can be made, because if things don't look good against Louisville, I'm going to be really worried, because this bye week is supposed to make things a little bit better. We'll see what happens. What you guys think about this interview? Let me know what you think. I'm out. Peace.